Middlesex County is very important to me. The diversity here is just amazing. And I kind of wanted to believe that is how it was everywhere, even though I knew it wasn't. But I think it's such a positive thing, and it's always shaped my art and made it something that hopefully unifies people. So I just wanted to celebrate that and make a mural that everyone could look at and see something that kind of relates to themselves and relates to their personal history or their cultural history. I pulled influences from Oaxaca, Mexico, from Indian patterns, from Chinese art, from Dominican art, and then Colombian art, and a whole bunch of other, and Jamaican art, especially music, all other influences and interests I have. I tried to bring it all together and just represent it in an abstract way. So I'm not going to be necessarily appropriating images from other culture, but letting the ideas behind those images and why they exist in the form that they do, let those inspire my art to create something that hints at them. I used to do a lot of perspective work and line work. I had a lot of background just drawing and doing illustration, but thinking about how I could mess around with perspective and the ability of color to create depth. So this really, to make those effects, it was just about picking in the past I used to just say, okay, let me put brown. I'd pick a brown and do it. Now it's okay, let me get the perfect brown. There's something nothing more beautiful than a bunch of colors that are similar next to each other and working. So I tried to bring that into this. So you'll see on the far left, I'm gonna have a bunch of blues and purples, very cool. It's a little bit too saturated right now, but I want to desaturate it to create a little bit more depth. And then in the far right, I'm gonna have some very saturated, darker colors, because ideally I want that to create a little bit of movement from right to left. Seeing it from the street, getting pulled in by the saturated reds and kind of getting pulled to the left side. What I like to do is create a strong base of shapes. And that's why the first couple of layers take it a very long time, because there needs to be the right harmony of the shapes, and the composition needs to be nailed down perfectly, so then I have room to improvise within it. So I kind of sometimes think about it like jazz music. I'm not a music theorist, so I might be getting this wrong, but basically creating a structure to improvise. So I feel like if I have this strong structure in place that's sturdy and all the issues are worked out there, if I veer away from that, it's still going to hold it all together. Recent events have definitely shaped this mural and the design. I mean, in general, I want my murals to perform action. The fact that they exist in a certain place, people are going to see it every day, and hopefully it affects them unconsciously. And that's why I do a lot of subtle imagery that hints at different things, because I don't want people to have to think too hard about unification. I just want them to digest it and then make that a part of themselves. Hopefully, though, that this will, inspire some people to make social justice a part of their life every day moving forward. There are positive changes taking place, and we have in the early 1900s and the mid 1900s, we have waves of immigrants from very different places, and we see, the changes happening in Metuchen, and I just wanted to celebrate that. Differences exist. I'm not one of those colorblind people. I think it's important to recognize our differences, but then also find common ground and build from that common ground. I just try to make sure it's technically sound. I just want to make sure it looks clean, that it's something they're proud to see, but then also have a good theoretical foundation that isn't necessarily art theory, but it's more about, hey, here's why I'm doing this, here's the impact I hope it has on the community, and here's the message that I'm trying to express. I just want to tell my generation's story, so hopefully this next generation could learn from our mistakes, and hopefully they create an even better county as we move forward.